welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name is Alexis and today I want to share with you how to make my delicious homemade curry baked beans with rice and a fried egg. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious slow cooker homemade curry baked beans, rice and a fried egg. Now this recipe, even though it sounds really complicated, is in fact actually really easy, and I'm going to be using my slow cooker to cook this meal. It's also really tasty as well. So I was thinking about having egg, chips and beans for dinner one night, but I really didn't fancy having potato. I think we'd had a lot of it that week. So I thought about adding rice to this meal and making the beans into like a curried bean dish. And the results were amazing. So I wrote the recipe and put it on my blog, which I will link in the description box below for you. But I thought we'd have this for dinner tomorrow night. I'm making it the day before and I'm going to cook it tomorrow. So yes, I thought we'd have it tomorrow night, and while I was making it, of course, I thought I'd share the recipe with you. So here is how to make my delicious slow cooker homemade curry baked beans with rice and a fried egg. This recipe, the first thing I'm going to do is add all of my ingredients to my slow cooker. So on this chopping board here, I have one onion that I've peeled, sliced and diced. And then I have 2 sticks of celery that I have just simply sliced into fairly thin slices. And then I have 2 carrots that I've also peeled and sliced into fairly thin slices. And then for this recipe I have some ginger that I've peeled and sliced, and I have some turmeric that I have peeled and sliced, or turmeric, I think that's how you say it in America. So I've used a big 2-inch piece of ginger and like a 2-centimetre piece of turmeric as well. And I'm just going to add all of these ingredients to my slow cooker, like so. And then I'm going to add my tin tomatoes to this as well. So I've got 2 tins of 400 grams of tomatoes to go in. And then I'm also going to add some cumin seeds as well. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of cumin seeds, like so, and a teaspoon of ground coriander. Now in the original recipe I said to use coriander seeds, but unfortunately I've run out of coriander seeds. So I'm just going to use a teaspoon of ground coriander. If you don't have cumin seeds or you can't get them, then you can also use ground coriander. You're going to, at the end, process this, or blend it all together, so it doesn't really matter. But I just really like the smell of cumin and coriander seeds together, so that's why I'm doing it. But anyway, I've got some dried oregano here as well. Oregano, I think they say in America, don't they? And then I've also got some black pepper as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit of black pepper into that, and a little bit of salt as well. And I like to make this the night before, because then all I have to do in the morning is switch it on. And for me, that's like the fairies have come and cooked dinner. When I put things in the slow cooker the night before and switch it on in the morning and it's all done, it is lovely just to come home or just to be able to serve dinner from the slow cooker. It's brilliant. So yes, that's why I'm doing that. I'm just going to get a spoon to stir that. So I'm going to stir all of these ingredients together now, and I'm just going to put this to one side, and then, as I said, I'm going to switch it on in the morning, and I'm just going to let it cook for about 4 hours tomorrow, but I will show you that tomorrow. And again, in the original recipe, I think I said to use tinned beans, so 2 tins of cannellini beans, which you add to the bean sauce tomorrow once you've blended it, but I don't have any tinned beans, so I'm actually just going to use some dried beans. So I've got about 200 grams of dried beans there, and that does make plenty. I find that dried beans makes a lot more than tinned beans for some reason. I'm not too sure why. So I'm just going to add water to these, and I'm going to put this bowl in the fridge overnight and let these cannellini beans soak in the water. So I'm going to put my slow cooker on now for about 3 to 4 hours. So now I'm going to cook my beans, and I've removed them from the fridge, and I drained the excess water that was in the bowl, and then I just rinsed them under the tap, and I'm going to put this into my pan now, and I'm going to add water to them. And what I'm going to do, I've put this onto a high heat, so I'm going to bring this to the boil, and then I'm going to leave it to simmer for a good 40 minutes or so. So I'm just going to put the pan lid on now, and I'm just going to bring this to the boil. So I brought these to the boil, and as I said, I've just reduced the heat on them, and I'm going to leave them to simmer now for about 30 to 40 minutes. Or until they go soft, basically. So my bean juice has been cooking for about 3 hours now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into my blender. I'm just going to move the blender over so I don't make dirty marks on the countertop. So yeah, I'm just going to put the bean juice into my blender. And once everything is in, I'm then going to blend all of these ingredients together until they're smooth. It smells delicious. It smells just like curry now. Oh, I could just eat this right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put it in here. And as I said, I'm going to blend everything together. And these beans could be made in advance of this meal as well if you wanted to. So you could make all of the beans, freeze them, and then all you have to do is take them out the freezer and cook the rice and the egg. And then that's dinner done, basically. So you could make these at the weekend and then have them during the week. And they're also great with chips as well, chips and egg, or sausage and egg. So yes, they are a very versatile food, beans. And we do like them in this house. So yes. Now I'm just going to put the lid on, and as I said, again, I'm going to blend these ingredients together. I've blended all of the ingredients together until they're smooth, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour these back into my slow cooker, and I'm going to put this back onto high again, and I'm still waiting for my beans to cook in the pan at the moment. So I'm just going to leave those to cook, and I'll show you what I'll do with those in a moment. But if you are using tinned beans, then all you have to do now is just rinse, take them out the can, obviously drain them and rinse them, and then put them in here, and then just put it back on high or low for I think I would put it back on high for another hour, and then low for another 2 hours, I'd say. So my beans are now cooked, and what I did was I removed them from the heat and I drained them over the sink through the colander, and then I just rinsed them through once more. And now all I'm going to do is just put them into the bean juice and make my homemade curried baked beans. And now I'm off to cook my rice and my fried egg as well. Next I'm moving on to cooking my rice, and I've weighed and measured out my rice, and then I've rinsed it under a cold tap through this colander twice. And I do this because I find it cooks better. This is a technique I have taken from Gok Wan. For those of you that live in the UK, you probably know him. He's quite well known for fashion, but he also does cooking as well. And he used to, I think he was, as a child, he used to live above a Chinese takeaway. His dad owned the Chinese takeaway, so he really does know how to cook rice properly. So then what you do is you add water to the base of the pan, and you add enough so that a wooden spoon or your finger, my fingers are clean, so if yours aren't, then you can use a wooden spoon for this, reaches that line on your finger, and that's about 2 centimetres. So if you want to, you can measure off a wooden spoon. I might just add a little bit more water there, just a drop. You can measure off a wooden spoon and put it in. So your finger has to sit on the top of the rice and the water has to reach the middle line, the line of your finger just there. So that is about 2 centimetres worth of water. Now what I'm going to do, so I've used cold water for that as well, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pan onto a high heat and I'm going to bring it to the boil, and then I'm going to leave it to simmer for a really long time. Brown rice takes a lot longer than white rice does. So if you want this meal a bit quicker, then I would use white rice. But if you are planning to use brown rice, then I would cook it a long time before you want to serve it. So my rice has started to boil now, and all I'm going to do is just turn it down to a very low heat and let it cook away by itself. So I put a frying pan onto a high heat, and all I've got left to do is just simply fry off some eggs. So I'm just going to put 2 eggs into this pan and fry them off. And that is our dinner nearly done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my rice into my beans like so, and I'm going to mix these around. So I'm just going to mix everything in the bean sauce, and then all that's left to do is just simply serve this into the bowls over there. It smells delicious. I am really looking forward to this dinner. It smells really good. So I'm just going to put a few spoonfuls in there, and then finally I'm going to add an egg on top, like so. And that is our dinner done. That's how you make my delicious homemade curry baked beans with rice and a fried egg, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. I'm off to enjoy this for my dinner now. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.